But it's normally the Teamsters union.
Yeah,
I
And
don't
the
know,
Teamsters
guys.
is real
yeah,
bad.
they made you. They the first day
Yeah,
they started.
you have to be a part of the
I was a
union
part of the
with the
Teamsters
state.
union with the city,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I also belong to Local 68.
So let me ask you guys this, why does union have a fee you have to pay every month? Because
Just
once
to
I
stay-
noticed I
Because
have,
they protect
to
you,
stay
dude.
afloat.
They don't protect you, bro.
they don't?
Nah.
That's what they say. They
Nah,
say
it's for
that's the reason.
political agendas, bro.
They do protect you.
They didn't protect me, bro. They told me, hey man, we
So-
know you got business you can fall back onto, and I'm like, dude, I'm already done with you guys, bro. I already
What-
started
Can
my
you hear
business
us?
and everything. I was like, screw
What
you guys.
what union was it?
ASPAC or something like American.
Because
I don't get it, so there's different unions?
Oh,
I'm a
yeah.
part of Local Union 68, IBEW.
Yeah, but that's
When you-
electrical.
When you work through the IBEW.
But you're actually not. You're doing it. You're not even doing union technically.
No, I still hold my ticket, I still pay my dues, so I still belong to the union.
Oh, yeah, if you pay that due, you're still a
If I-
part of
if-
it.
If I wanna go down to the hall and take a call, I could go down to the hall, sign the book and take a call. I'd have to register for the book,
Right.
but I could go take a call at any minute.
Is your company registered as a union company?
I'm not a union contractor
Yeah.
because there's fees that come along with
Right.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
You
That's
have
what I said,
to-
man, they'll give you all kind of work, won't they?
They don't give
Nah,
you
man.
work. You still have to bid.
You gotta be
for it.
the big
Oh.
fish.
So the way that works is you have to kind of link up with someone, and they'll kind of mentor you, kind of like working with at the airport. You kind of have to get in with somebody that gives you subcontracts to their contract,
Oh, I'm turning my phone down.
and then you could get in that way, and you can learn the ways of the business there. But you just can't go union and expect to get work. Because first you have to bank your payroll plus your benefits, because that has to be paid out. You
There it
have to
is.
have that in the bank.
This is who I would belong to. AFSCME, American Federation of State, County, and Municipal.
Yeah, that might have been a weak union.
Oh, they still, I'm thinking.
Is there a
I'm thinking
weak
that's
or a
a
strong union? I don't
No,
know.
this is a
No.
strong union.
No, listen,
I thought
that's
all
not
unions
electrical.
were
It's
strong
not electrical.
unions.
This is for anybody that works for a state or a city.
so back east.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, they're
Midwest,
strong out there.
That's a strong union.
Yeah, they are. Here they
Coming
suck.
west, Colorado,
It's
all the
weak.
unions are weak here.
So,
Yeah.
so why do I have to meet my training period before they'll make me union? Because once you're union, they can't fire you, right?
Pretty
no,
much.
No, they can fire you, but you have more.
fighting chance.
You have more backing.
Right, and that's probably the reason I have to be the trainee for the whole 12 months. Because when you worked for the state, were you a trainee for 12 months too? Were you?
I didn't work
I
for the
was-
state. I worked for the city and county of Denver.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
was.
you just work for
I'm a
city and county
master,
here.
so I jumped in as a subject matter
Oh,
expert.
okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
you jumped right in, and you never worked for the state, huh?
No, but there is a union for, there's Screen Actors Guild for film.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
There's
different.
a
Are you part of
union
that?
for film?
I am SAG eligible, but I'm not union, and I wouldn't go union.
Why not?
Because I'd be a dues paying non-member, which is FICOR, that allows me to play both sides where I can be in independent films without being penalized, but also get top tier pay and treatment on union projects.
And why wouldn't you do that?
Well, I would
Yeah,
do
these
that.
guys are rich,
I
that's
would do that
probably-
because
you
I could
should
be both.
ask if it's gonna
But
be
the reason why I
awesome.
wouldn't want to
Okay.
be union
That's
is
usually
because
where city-
I would get
You-
penalized.
Because
Because
I
I
can
get
let you
penalized
guys
for the
know
smaller
on
films
Monday,
I'm
like what
on.
is like, because I was trying to pay
So,
the
yeah,
fee and
it
Joey
stifles-
rushed in.
it kind of
I think
stifles
they're
the
useless
ability
because all they want is
of the
money.
jobs.
Because they wanted us to vote for Barack Obama.
At least
They
for
wanted
Colorado. Colorado
us to
doesn't have a whole lot of
always,
film,
You know,
man.
vote Democrat.
If I was in
You know, this
California
person's it,
or
make sure you
Georgia,
vote Democrat.
I'd go union.
Have you guys noticed since you've been working on the show, you get those text messages asking how you're going to vote now? Like
No.
every week?
No, that's something other
I
than
got them
this.
before.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
How you wanna vote?
No, I get them all the time. Like, are you a Republican, Democrat? Who are you going to vote for next election? It's weird, dude.
I just reply your mom all the time.
You did
You
a
say
what?
your mom? I'm gonna
Oh,
vote
is
for
that
your
what you
mom.
said?
Yeah.
Seriously?
And then they're all, this guy's flagged.
That's what I'm hoping, bro. Exactly what I'm hoping.
This guy's flagged for show.
We're gonna have to take
Oh, I
Pastor
didn't know we
Tate's
were
office now.
almost on air.
Since
Huh?
we're gonna have to take Pastor
I don't
Tate
think
out of
Charlie
office.
likes us anymore.
I was going there in the booth,
Charlie
Charlie.
doesn't like us anymore. He wants us to fail, I think. Or maybe
Yeah,
me.
right.
One sentence.
Dude, you guys know that YouTuber guy Beast or whatever he's called?
Uh-huh.
Who?
Beast or
Mr. Beast.
yeah, Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
I did not know this dude started when he was like 11 and made his first million by the time he was 16, dude.
Amazing.
By just being a YouTuber. That's all he did was make YouTube videos to start.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now he's got drinks. He's got a contract with Starbucks coming out in like 2 months. He's got his drink there. Like, how are these dudes?
Has no money. It's
Really?
trust.
Wow.
So how does he stay wealthy then? Wow, that's
That's
crazy.
pretty interesting.
Wow.
Which is good, because you don't waste. When you
Well,
think about it.
That would
Supposed
make
to-
sense because that's good business
Yeah.
if you only have expenses and no income.
Dude, and
So-
look at all the tax.
Tax shelter.
Dude.
You know what's crazy?
That's
so,
actually pretty smart.
so I just did a study on Elon Musk about when he tried to go bankrupt. Like he almost went bankrupt every year except for 2023, 4, and 5. Because he does that, circulates all his money
Yeah.
back into his company to
You know-
try to.
You know, when you buy a house, how you avoid cap gains so that you don't pay taxes is you roll it into another house with a 1034 exchange or whatever.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can avoid taxation.
Really?
Yeah, there's
By just rolling
so-
it back into another piece of real
Yeah, so
estate?
when you
Oh, wow.
when you have wealth, then you should have those around you that teach you how to hide in tax shelter.
God,
That's
I had
why.
no
That's why
idea,
Trump
dude.
said, "Man, everyone wanted to say he cheats the system." He's like, "No, I'm just using the system that you guys made."
Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie. How's everybody doing today? This is KLZ 560 AM. You can always talk to us by calling in at 303-477-5600. Again, that's 303-477-5600. We'll kind of announce that number, throughout the show periodically. But you can also go to our social media pages. Dre, what can they go to exactly?
The Guy's Perspective on Facebook.com.
Oh, perfect. And leave us a
Our
comment.
website, theguy'sperspective.org.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And on YouTube, even though it got shut down because of Aunt John,
And John.
Never touched the engine.
But on my personal YouTube page, we've got all of the episodes up there from different angles where you can watch them.
So it's
Perfect.
Heath Hine, the actor,
Yeah, just
So we're about to talk about a topic. I think we've been wanting to talk about it for a while. Wish the janitor was here. He's been wanting to talk about it for like the whole year. But Reno threw it out last week, and so we're going to talk about marijuana and like.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever tried to grow marijuana? Let's start there.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you
That's
use
how-
lights or outside or?
No, I use hydroponics and grow lights and a lot of reflective material.
Mm.
tinfoil.
Yep.
Can you actually use tinfoil?
It's
Yeah.
reflective.
I don't know. I never
Yeah.
tried to.
If you smoke, I've heard if you smoke enough, that you could put tinfoil on your head, and you can start having.
Plus, the
Yeah.
FBI will never find you because you put tinfoil on the windows too.
What,
right?
what
So-
what's the reflective for? Why?
To have so the lights in one place and it'll reflect all over.
Yeah.
Mm.
Get underneath the tree, underneath the leaves and stuff like
Everywhere.
that.
And then you have your periods of where you turn the lights off. So it's a process that I learned about. But how many of us have smoked marijuana
Oh,
back in the day?
yeah.
I think
don't
all
smoke
of us
it
have
now.
tried it.
Yeah. I was smoking for quite a few, maybe 5-7 years or something like that.
You smoked for 7 years?
Yeah. Out of
What
Yeah, in high school and out of high school there, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, first time I got high, man. It was I was like 13 years old, and somebody told me.
So was I.
So, yeah, so
Wow.
I never inhaled, like, what was it, Bob Marley or said, I can't remember who said it. Was it?
well, see, that's the funny thing, man, is I was offered like a cigarette. I tried to smoke that, and I choked. And then they offered me a Coca-Cola can where it was punched down and then punctured with these holes in a port on the side, and I could inhale that.
That's some funny stuff, man.
So do you think there's a difference between the marijuana back then and the marijuana of today?
Big time.
That is a good question.
I totally think there is.
Yeah, one was
Well, they've made them more, they've engineered it more to be more,
potent.
yeah, more potent.
So today's marijuana is a GMO.
Genetically modified
No,
organism.
that's not natural.
No,
Mm-mm.
no,
God didn't make that
Well,
one.
well, that's the thing. A lot of people would say things like, with booze you lose, and with dope there's hope, and that it's made by God and all that kind of stuff, so they can kind of justify their fixation or their crutch.
So I know there's a difference between hemp and marijuana, but back in the day when it was made illegal, it affected hemp the same.
Oh,
So you could hemp has less THC. You're not going to get high from hemp. And the stock is the valuable part. That's what they make paper out of. That's what they make rope out of. The strongest natural rope known to man is made out of hemp. Bibles were written on hemp paper.
They hung people
long
on
ago.
hemp ropes, right? Didn't they hang them?
Did they
I don't know
really?
anything about hanging.
Yeah.
well,
My answer.
Reno, though, I got a question.
How you gonna ask a black man that?
Your ancestry.
No, I was gonna ask Reno, man. So between what is it, hemp and marijuana, is one male, one female, or no?
So I think it comes down to the THC of it, right?
It's the THC. So the hemp is I can't remember the exact amount, but it's less than a certain like 0.3 or 0.03 THC, and anything above that is considered marijuana. So THC.
All right.
So they take CBDs from hemp, and it has no the CBD oils and stuff like that. They don't have any
Cannabinoids.
THC.
Yeah.
And THC has to be a certain level.
Remember that wacky tobacco?
And you guys are right, because real potent stuff is like between 25 to like 35 THC. Like it'll it's some strong stuff, man. Like it'll.
You know who we're missing though? Who's
What's
a good advocate against weed? The
Who's that?
plumber.
Oh.
Kids don't do weed, otherwise they'll still be living at home with mom.
That's funny.
They show up every once in a while.
Well, what's the scale? What's the scale for measuring like THC's potency? Because it's like the Richter scale for earthquakes and like the Scoville for heat. What's the measure?
That I didn't look into, but I looked up the strongest strands of marijuana that they have currently today.
Pineapple chunk.
No, so what is the most potent cannabis? At the top of the list, we have the Godfather, the OG. The exact lineage of it and how it's created is unknown, and you can look this stuff up online. So it's mixed with Bubba Kush, LA Confidential, the Granddaddy Purple, with some people saying it's a crossbreed between XX, OG, or Alpha OG. Other competitors are the Jelly Donut, Super Buff, Alien Mint, Great Gas, Permanent Marker, Jealousy, Gelato 41, Blueberry Crumble,
Have you ever seen?
and the Kush Burger.
Have you ever seen Grandma's Boy?
Grandma's Boy. No.
Oh wait, was it Grandma's Boy? Do you remember that when you brought in the map?
But I mean,
Oh.
so if you think about like how marijuana has changed,
Evolved.
so a person can have 2 ounces now and not go to jail.
Well,
hold
federally
on,
and state.
Right, because now it's legal in 37 states.
What?
Why isn't it legal across the board?
Federally.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? You can take alcohol and you can drive it across state lines if we're.
It's federally legal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why don't they just make it federally legal? If there's 37 states already making it legal, why wouldn't you just, if it's legal in Wyoming, you couldn't just take it across the border?
Yeah.
Across the state
So
line.
my opinion is it will be eventually, because then they can tax it federally. That's my opinion, though. I don't.
See, I'm gonna go all out. Like, if you're high right now, I'm gonna go all out conspiracy theory, and say it's a program from the elites to dumb down the population, especially with the kids. So
To make us like idiocracy again.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, okay, Reno.
So the legal, so it's Delta 9 THC content,
Okay.
and it's below 3% or greater than 3% THC, 15 to 30, and that's intoxicating.
Makes it intoxicating. Right.
But below 0.3% is considered non-intoxicating.
So basically, you can drive. Let's say you roll up that joint. If it's below 3%, you can drive and won't actually get the DUI, or do you still get the DUI?
I don't think you can even get high. Would you?
Below 3%, you'll probably get a headache.
Oh.
Okay. So
Hey,
so
that reminds me, man. I've smoked like weeds, and that gave me a headache. Like one time.
So if you have 15 to 30% of the THC, how would they know that? Because you know how they say if you smoke, even though it's legal, you can get the DUI. So how did they know it wasn't under 15% THC? Like how do they know that?
I don't think that matters as far as what you have. Is what's, and I'm not 100% sure how they test.
Okay.
I haven't been high in over 30 years.
No, for sure. But you know how they can test? They can test your blood alcohol level. If you're in a vehicle and you're driving, you've been drinking and driving, they can test that. How do they figure out?
I know how they test it. I know exactly how they test it. Once you roll down the window, how much smoke bellows out.
or if you're stopped at a stop sign for like 1 hour.
And you're waiting for it to change.
Yes.
So they have tests that they administer, just like a drug test.
Blow into this.
Road sobriety test.
So when you blow
They
into
do
this,
have a road sobriety.
that's what
So
it is. When
They have a test. I just don't know what it
We
consists
all
of.
just watched way too much.
I know what it
TV
is.
shows.
I know what it is, man. So for alcohol, you got to blow into something, and then for marijuana, they start sucking on that same thing. They go,
Yeah.
wow, man, this is good stuff.
Because I looked up the pros and cons to marijuana. Okay, and here's the pros to it. Medical benefits of cannabis: helps manage chronic pain, inflammation, reduces reliance on opioids for pain management, helps to treat glaucoma, helps against seizures, it helps against cancer. Who would have thought that? And anxiety, and it even helps against nightmares, which I always have nightmares. Like that's crazy.
Does that mean you're going to start smoking?
No. But that's the pros to it.
So there was a lot of like before, when it was legal, then they made it illegal, and it had uses for nausea, pain, all the stuff that you mentioned. But when aspirin came on the market, it could not compete with marijuana, so they made it illegal. The pharmaceutical companies lobbied to make it illegal, and then they could push aspirin.
I'm just kind
So-
of curious. Do you think for all those Christian listeners, I wonder if if there's a split between those that think, hey man, this is something that God created, and then
Hey man, because that's funny. I'll say this right now. When my mom was sick with cancer, I was totally like, especially knowing what I know now, you know, from college, like, if that stuff can help against cancer, I do not believe for one moment my mom, as a godly woman,
Would have taken it.
well, number one, she wouldn't have taken it, but if she would have, what would it have been wrong to help? Because what cancer does, that's funny, because I saw it with my mom. What cancer does is, like any other sickness, it suppresses your appetite so that you can't eat. You're not hungry. And so because you can't feed yourself to get strength, you can't work out, you can't do anything, so that cancer's killing you. If a person has cancer and they turn around and they smoke some marijuana so they get energy to want to eat, is that a bad thing?
The munchies.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
You know, for my son, you know, before he passed,
Okay.
they talked about giving him cancer for his spastic movements. You know, he had cerebral palsy. And I'm not gonna lie, we almost entertained it, just prior to his passing.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Wasn't
Arena.
there a girl that like there was a family that moved here because their daughter was having epileptic seizures, and when they moved here, because this was a state that allowed for marijuana use,
Wow.
like it healed her, it cured her.
I do know of that story.
Yeah, I remember.
What about the plant is helpful? Is it the THC?
Or the CBD.
Well-
What about the plant is helpful?
Well, that's it.
nausea and
They
things
make
like
a
that?
comparison.
Right, because that's what I want to ask you guys. Is it still considered a drug? Like cocaine's a drug. Is marijuana still a drug if it's got helping effects or healing effects?
Think about opioids. Opioids is a drug, right?
For sure.
It just is.
It is. Let's
So when
be
you
real.
think about it, I mean, how far away is marijuana? You know, either THC or CBD, you know, effects.
This is good, man.
So, with the like codeine and
Okay.
different drugs, they're administered without like side effects of being high, unless you take enough of it.
Right.
But is there a way to administer marijuana without getting high?
You're
Because
asking her.
back in the day, they made teas out of it,
Yeah, that's the CBD part of.
and they didn't get high.
It has
They
no
got nausea.
no intoxication or high.
So the CBD doesn't
Yes.
get you high or
No.
intoxicated.
Just the THC.
And-
The
So,
THC
okay, so
concept.
then I guess, and listeners, if you know more, call out 303-477-5600, especially if somebody who smokes, man, call us up. Like, because how do we know? Is it the THC what actually helps you?
Well, and that's the thing. It is CBD that is like the one that is found with medicinal properties, but it's not always administered by smoking. It's administered by topical. It's administered by high concentrate. There's this one stuff that we tried to give to my stepfather who was dying of cancer beforehand, and it was Rick Simpson oil. And so basically I paid $1,500 to my friend, man, to get some pineapple chunk, boil it, or he cooked it and boiled it down in the oven, and then it turned into like this like black tar molasses type stuff, man. And you're supposed to take it little by little. Well, I gave that to my stepfather, but it didn't work because it was too far gone. But then I had some of it left over, and I tried it. Dude, this is about like 5 years ago. I tried it myself, and I was crying in the shower to Jesus, man. I was like, ah,
It was
please,
that
Lord.
potent, huh?
Bro, it was like a grain of a rice, like a size of a grain of
Wow.
rice of this black tar Rick Simpson oil is what it's called.
Wow.
Rick Simpson.
So here's the cons to it, okay? And all this is cited from the New Health Advisory. I don't know, you know, times have changed, okay? So there's a debate between is marijuana an actual drug or no longer a drug. So I guess the con to this is psychosis, fatigue, dizziness, makes you anxious or paranoid,
That's
makes
me.
you depressed. It impairs your memory. It in some cases it can get you addicted, but the most important is most people who smoke all the time cannot get a job or hold a job.
What are your thoughts? Remember how we were always told in school, they still say it in school, this is a gateway drug. I don't think it's the drug, I think it's the high. that's more the gateway, because like most of us know, when you first smoke, that initial high is different, right, than the rest of the time. You know, as you go along, and that's why it was never my thing. But you know, I kind of wonder how. I think there's some truth in that, because sometimes people who have an addictive personality, like our plumber, you know, he basically could get high on that and then move to, you know, just saying I'm taking a medical prescription by the doctor that probably gives him a different type of high, because he's searching for that same high because something's lacking. Now, is that a problem spiritually speaking, like where we need something that to get us out of our funk? You know, I mean, have we really lost? Is this something that works against what God has given us? You know, given us the spirit of not fear, but of sound mind, etc. I mean, is this not a criminal act, but is it an act that is against the word of God and what He wants for us in our body? I don't know.
I would agree in the vein of a coping mechanism or escapism or a crutch or any of those things. But man, we have the same thing with beer or alcohol. We have the same thing with nicotine or caffeine. We have the same thing with sex addiction and all that.
Well, what's funny that you mentioned is it a gateway, because I researched that, and there's a lot of people today, since it's legal, does not believe it's a gateway to other drugs or opioids. Where I don't know. The reason why I don't know if it could be a gateway is because it's got healing effects too. They've done studies on this stuff.
Well, again, I think it's based on that. I mean, addictive personality, I don't know that I agree with that term, but to that effect, you know, there's some people that are easily addicted once they try one thing, and then now they're addicted to try something else. So it's kind of, I can see where they come up with that term, addictive, or a gateway drug.
Right.
Because once you get that one high, you're probably going to look at, man, I wonder what this looks like and that looks like when you get high.
Well, let me ask you guys, do you guys feel like you have an addictive personality? Because that's really what it comes down to when it comes down to marijuana, is do you or do you not have an addictive personality, Arena?
I don't know if I have an addictive personality or not. I chose not to try certain things because I've seen people get addicted to certain things that kind of scared me.
Gotcha.
So I didn't try it because they tried it once and they were addicted to this day.
Really?
Some of them are not even alive right now. And
wow.
You know, I have family that died of something, you know, alcohol.
Right.
They were told that if they stop drinking, their heart is not strong enough for the DTs. If they keep drinking, the alcohol will kill them.
They're stuck.
I've had a family member overdose from, you know, cocaine. So there's a lot of things that I've seen that deterred me from trying certain things.
Nancy Reagan, just say no.
Well, here's another question for you guys. How does somebody know if they have an addictive personality? Or are we going too deep down to psychology? Or because you won't know if you have it unless you actually try it, right?
I was going to say there is no clinical term called addictive personality. That's why I said I don't really agree with that, but that term. But that's the problem. Is like you said, you don't know. Some people have impulsive attitudes, or that are more impulsive, or they actually say sensation seeking, thrill seeking, emotional dysregulation, low consciousness, and other things. Those are people that are more prone to that, but you know, at least according to research. But as far as an addictive personality, you're right, Brock. How do we know?
Jesus said, "Hey, he who is without sin, like, let's get stoned."
What?
Cast the first stone. Sorry about that.
But I mean, you guys see what I'm saying? Unless if you hear about people, you hear about people's mindsets the whole time.
Some people might be doing certain things because they're trying to escape, like an escape mechanism from pain or from things that have happened to them, like trauma.
I think a lot of people tried to use a coping mechanism. That's why the church needs to be stronger. Not really cry, because I gotta admit, I've seen Christians that look so sad. And I'm like, my goodness, if you're a representation of Jesus, then, you know,
Oh, I say that stuff all
probably
the
rather
time.
get high.
Maybe so. My
You know?
my dad calls it altitude adjustment. So go ahead and light up.
Because I do think, like, athletes, you hear sports players being like, hey, why can't I take marijuana? It eases
It's not
my
an
stress.
enhancer.
It helps me. Well, it helps me after being hit all day, you know, on a football field. And I have to agree with these guys, man. If there's some way to take away, like, that brain trauma that people have, like, if you're in the military and you've seen some crazy crap, dude, people blown up, and it's a way for you to ease your mind, what would be wrong?
But again,
I
that's,
don't-
but again, therein lies the problem, is that the individual is then using it as a crutch and a coping mechanism to escape addressing the real problem.
Well,
have to have
how though?
psychological
How would that be
It
escaping?
can be just like you were talking
It's
earlier
any
about how,
addiction, really.
but just like you were talking earlier, how like marijuana can be used to help somebody get off of opiates. Yes, that's kind of like a step down instead of like a gateway to. It's stepping down from something more severe and more catastrophic.
And it's easier on your stomach too. With opioids, you
Yeah.
you end up nauseous, etc. Whereas, you know, it's the opposite.
But coping is coping, man. Hey, if every time I feel down, I grab a bite of food, man, then all of a sudden I'm gonna have a gut that shows my coping mechanism.
Exactly. Like,
No. You guys, I think you guys are right. But I guess it comes back, and we got 2-minute people, and give us a call on the other side. I guess it comes down to, how does a person know what they can or can't cope with if they've never tried it? I mean,
That's
you
kind
see
of
what I'm
scary.
saying? That's the
but see,
thing.
but then I think that's where wisdom comes in place, because now you start to really ask the questions like you're asking, right? Isn't that wisdom to be able to ask that and say, well, we've been taught this. Let's just be real. According to the American Psychiatric Association, people that have the type of chemical in their brain, it might bring an early onset, especially for teenagers and young adults, to where if they're prone to manic depressive states or psychosis or anything to that, it'll onset. It's like a light switch. It'll turn it right on, and that's proven. So yeah, that's a choice, but is it a choice you want to risk?
Reno.
Quick question. Has anyone ever died from marijuana?
While we're talking, I didn't think about that, but that's a good question.
So I got a question. Would you want your like a fire department coming in all high, or the paramedics coming in or even a cop for that matter coming in all high trying to rescue you or trying to intervene in the situation?
I got a
Think
question.
about it.
I got a question along those lines for the other side of this show. It would be, do we know of like people who are high performers that actually smoke marijuana and those that are low performers?
That's another good question.
Right off the
man.
jump
That's a
would be
good
like
question,
Snoop
man.
Dogg, man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good.
performer.
You're asking a good question, man.
Does anyone have
We'll
Snoop
talk
Snoop?
about it on the other side. You guys are asking very good questions, dude. Like,
All right, so stop saying our names.
Why?
yeah, he does.
oh,
Reno.
Yeah. I have to learn not to say that and just point. to
Oh,
you.
it's-
Well, I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Well, yeah, well,
I keep hearing
they-
we're supposed to, then we're not.
No. Yeah, we're raising our hands. but
Raising our hands is fine.
Instead of me
Don't
saying that
announce it
name.
on the over the radio. Okay, Reno.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he's saying
Just,
like Heath Hine. Like he likes to say his whole name.
I don't truly mind it. I don't
yeah,
like it.
I don't
No,
like saying my
I'm
whole
just
name.
saying, when we're raising our hand, don't say,
Gotcha.
okay, Reno, you could.
Gotcha.
Well, no, aren't you supposed to do that? That way they know. Remember, people told us that we're supposed to. Hey, Charlie,
Yeah.
professional
let's ask
question. So, are we supposed to? Is it ideal for us to be able to say, okay, like Bronca says, Keith, talk to me. Reno, talk to me. Andre, talk to me, or whatever. I mean, are we? Is that more like?
Okay.
I just want to see. That'd be a good thing, 'cause then, unless I can call you Chi-Town if you want.
No, that's
Chi-Town.
not, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I see what you're
I'm not
saying.
understanding.
I see what you're saying. So
What does he say?
I'll just wait, because I think when I'm sitting here and he's raising his hand and I keep say a Reno and then back and forth, I think it's kind of throwing us
Moderating.
off. Yeah, I don't think it's really moderating. I think it's instead of getting to the meat of the subject, it's taking a step back instead of continuing the conversation.
It's not to not say my name.
Right.
It's in the context of,
For sure.
okay, Reno,
Yeah.
or, but
Yeah.
For
right.
sure. For sure.
So either way, if we don't moderate through, talking St. Heath or
Let's try
Brock.
the second half without saying the name.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. 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 Perfect.
I feel like we should have got high before we came. Like freaking Joe Rogan, man.
Charlie, you ever been high?
Oh, Charlie has. Yeah. That's me. I want to take a nap. I'm like useless.
How's everybody doing today? This is the second half of the guy's perspective. You can call it 303-477-5600. We're just going to dive right into it. It was a good first half. According to Psychology Today, the number one reason most people smoke marijuana is for stress relief.
I believe it, man. Do you think we're more, we've seen more stress in this life of a faster pace, etc. I've seen people that are very energetic, and then it slows them down so that way they can actually focus. Like
Sure.
ADD type.
Yeah, I have a friend like that very hyper, and he smokes weed, so it mellows him out, so it helps him concentrate.
Mm.
And I think everyone's going to be different. And I asked the question: has anyone, died from or overdosed from marijuana? And based on current scientific evidence and reports from health organizations, it is considered nearly impossible to die from a direct overdose of smoking marijuana.
Wow.
What about that one guy that died
Wow.
just recently for eating too many edibles? You heard about that, right?
Yeah, but he
Even here
probably
in Colorado.
choked to death. Did he choke
I'm not sure.
like
I can't
on
remember.
the edibles?
Do you remember that?
I'm not
No.
sure.
Or you go high on that.
But those edibles are kind of like gummies, so it might have been the gelatin that got him.
See that. The most common names for marijuana are dope, weed, pot, or smoking the dank. This is slang for the most premium, top shelf marijuana. According to ColoradoCannabis.org, there are 947 cannabis stores in Colorado as of October 2025. So it's a lucrative business.
Yes.
It's making a lot of money.
It was-
Over $200 million, dude.
It was
last
called
year.
it was called the Green Rush, man, when it hit.
Really?
It was Colorado, California.
I think that was it, right? Maybe
there's,
Seattle.
There's like one, Seattle or Oregon or something like that. Seattle.
So it is a proven fact that it causes cognitive decline. That's a proven fact. So if a parent is smoking marijuana 24/7 and their kid at the age of 14 or 15 or 16 starts smoking marijuana, won't that affect their mental development?
I totally think so. I mean, actually, I think there is science behind that too, right? Because it adjusts the THC part, not the CBD. The THC adjusts the chemical, balance of your mind. I mean, we have a living example here. When the plumber's around. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. It's just because he's not here that we can.
Yeah.
But
Ribbon.
I mean, think about it though. I mean, I think everyone knows the proverbial pothead, and how they look,
Oh,
at
for
high
sure.
school or even, as an adult. I mean,
It's a proven fact that people, because we all know that one person who they function perfect when they're high. They function perfect when it seems like they're functioning perfect when they're drunk, the whole 9 yards, and you're like, how in the world? But in the big scheme of things, because I think it said that according to, as of 2025, there's 165 million people trying marijuana today. So there's a lot. But I guess my question is out of all that number of people that are smoking marijuana, how many are youth?
I think there's quite a bit. And the problem is there's these stats that show that in the 1960s through 70s, the average THC content was 1 to 3%, and that's
Wow.
considered mild. Up until now, where it's like 30 to 35%, even greater, 4 to 10 times the increase over the decades of THC levels. Now think about it, and like you were saying, Reno, I mean, a lot of this stuff is GMO. I mean, it's genetically modified to give you higher and higher strains. So what else is it affecting? You're kind of manipulating the DNA, if you will, and what are you introducing into a child's formative mind? That's the problem, is that a lot of these kids are doing it in formative years.
You're right.
Well, and I know this doesn't matter. People are going to do what they're going to do, no matter what age. But the legal age to purchase and consume recreational marijuana is 21. But of course, I started smoking when I was 13, and way back then it was illegal.
But you asked the question in the first half. Is it different today? Is the strands different? Because it's been modified. It's like
It's definitely different.
Because it's kind of like the scientists who were taking the dire wolf. I mean, there's a reason why that thing died off. 15,000 years ago. The strand is going to be different because you can mix it with something.
Speaking of a wolf, you ever seen one high? my dad raised wolves, and he'd get them high, but he stopped blowing. He wouldn't blow in their nose the marijuana because you could mess up their olfactory system, being able to scent and smell like that, because that's how they read the newspaper, by sniffing each other's butts. So what he'd do is he'd lift open their ear and he'd blow in their ear. And then they start getting real high, man, and having a good time. They get hungry and sleepy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm absolutely serious, man. This ain't no joke.
During 4th of July, I get a CBD pill.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
Medicinal.
Yeah.
because if the strands have changed, if it's no longer just grown by Mother Nature, but we're now growing it in a lab, won't it have lasting effects? I guess that's the thing.
Well, and also the method of transportation, right, Reno?
Well, that comes back to the question of, is it necessary for medicinally to have that high THC content? I mean, is that necessary? Is the THC affecting, or is the CBD what?
That's a good question.
And people call it 303-477-5600, because what's the difference between hash and marijuana? Is it the same stuff?
Hash is I think, I'm not 100%, but I think hashish is like.
I gotta
remember
go, yeah.
remember when you would have like a smokeless or a pipe or something like that, and you'd be smoking, and then you get the resin that you create, and you smoke the resin. The resin was hash. More potent.
No,
Because it was weeks of smoking.
Yeah, I mean, it would be 100% like.
But I also think, going along with what Reno said, is that really affecting, putting that much THC in a greater amount? But and what I said also is the method of how it's being transported into your system. I think also, now that we have these vape cartridges, the availability of vape pens, vaping, I mean, there's danger in that alone, right?
Right.
With the
Popcorn lung.
Yeah, popcorn lung, lung cancer, etc. The high risk of heart disease, things like that. I mean, that's maybe it's the delivery method. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's something that's going to be studied. There's going to be an empirical study.
Oh, there is, because as of right now, because I cannot, to save my life, figure out how it's being legal, and here it is in Colorado it's legal, Wyoming it's legal, but I can only carry 2 ounces. But if I take 4 or 5 ounces or across a state line, it's a felony. Or if somebody back in the day was selling 2 or 3 ounces out of the back of their trunk of their car, how are they not out of prison yet? I don't get it.
Okay, then that takes us back to the war on drugs and the Reagans and the ability to get people incarcerated, and then now when they make it
You
legal,
think it was an incarceration thing?
Absolutely, and racial too.
Wow.
And here's the thing, man, is now that it's made legal, then what should happen, what truly should happen from a good judge standpoint, is that those people should be released of those charges.
Well, Donald Trump did try to do that. Actually, he did.
What?
Yeah, through his first administration. And that's what's funny about it, is you don't know, because the only way you know about it is if you followed the things he did, but the media does not talk about it.
Right.
I'm telling you, he released so many people from that Ronald Reagan.
And somebody call us at 303-477-5600, because that's interesting, because if you were selling drugs in the 90s when they considered marijuana a drug, and
Because
you
it was
had
a class-
2 ounces, and all of a sudden you got a felony,
Class 1.
why shouldn't everybody be released across the board now? I mean, you see, it's now legal in every state, and that's garbage that they can't be.
What about internationally? Like what? I forgot her name. The basketball player. You know, in Russia. Remember in Russia?
For
It was-
marijuana?
Yeah, Brittany
yes,
Griner.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, almost sentenced to.
What-
It was an insane sentence.
What was it, marijuana she
It was
got caught with?
marijuana, yeah.
Well, you know what? That joker wouldn't even stand for America, so they should just kept her butt in prison over there in Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You're bashing America, then all of a sudden, when you need our help, you're sitting here telling, "Hey, man, help us out."
And that was another one that I believe Trump actually brought her back.
No, it was Biden. Yeah, it was Biden.
Oh,
Yeah,
figures.
but the point I'm making
Child
is,
sniffer.
if you were dealing marijuana then, and now it's legal, how are there people still being locked up for this? Like it doesn't make any kind of sense, dude.
But
Well-
even stranger than that is those that are successful in their walk of life while getting high all the time.
Yeah. Well, you
Snoop
know, the
Dogg's
crazy-
one, dude.
The crazy thing too is, I don't think it's necessarily the marijuana. I think it's the mere fact that now there's a combination of pills, etc., that they're found with. And now, I think most dope heads probably eventually move. Sorry for if that's a derogatory term, but we used to call it that.
I don't think it is.
There's another danger with any type of drug. 'Cause there's the possibility, if you don't know where it's coming from, the possibility that it's been
Right.
laced
Fentanyl.
with something as bad as fentanyl.
That's scary right there. That is very scary. You're talking about something that's opening a whole new can of worms, because he's making a good point. If you sit there and have a dispensary and you're selling marijuana and that gets into the hands of the wrong quote unquote drug dealer, and now they lace that stuff with fentanyl to make it, because fentanyl will kill you, man. That stuff, like your death rate is real high for people that are taking that stuff, and yet there's people that are doing it, dude. And here's the problem: when you make that stuff legal, when you make marijuana legal, and listen, people, we're not police officers. We don't work for the FBI. We're in oil and gas and own our own businesses. But at the end of the day, fentanyl will jack you up.
But here's my question.
That's a
man.
PSA.
Fentanyl will
Fentanyl will jack you up. You sound like Hootie
But no, he's right. If you lace that stuff with that,
said.
because that's funny. Because I'm gonna tell a story about mine. No, I'm not gonna tell.
I'm
a story
sorry,
about mine.
man.
I
I had to.
But yeah, keep going. Tell us what you were saying.
Well, I forgot.
but no, you're 100% right, because there's people that lace stuff all the time. Like if you're going out and buying illegal pills, that they can lace that stuff.
That's what it was. The point I was going to get at is, then are we to believe that when something is legalized, that it is more likely or less likely that people are going to get dosed wrong?
Right.
I think when it's legalized, it's probably going to mitigate any of those wrong dosings, because you're not going to buy from the guy in the back alley now. You're not going to get a dime from that guy. You're going to go right down to like
You're
cookies
right.
or whatever marijuana grow shop there is.
What was that move? Sorry. Pardon.
I'd have to agree. It's less likely, but if you're a youth and you can't go into the shop and legally buy it, then you want to use it, then you're left with no other option but to get it how you can, and it could be dangerous. Just like leaving your edibles out, and they look just like candy, and your child picks it up and eats it.
Mm-hmm.
So check this out. So there is there's a correlation between people that smoke marijuana and also use other illicit drugs such as cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, or hallucinogens, based on the U.S. data, primarily from the NSDUH and CDC and IDA. They basically suggest that more people that do, marijuana actually try different drugs because it's the same mechanism that they're looking at. They're trying to get high. But think about it, that first high you get is never the same as, the other high. So yeah, they end up moving on. 25.5% of people 12 and plus. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
That is
12 years
crazy.
old.
I would think it's different with marijuana because, like, when people describe getting high on crack, they chase that high.
Mhm.
But people getting high on marijuana, they're not chasing a high.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'll tell you what, that first high from marijuana really was a cool high. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I sat there and laughed at a dining room table or something, a coffee table, and I just started laughing at my laugh. But then it never was the same again. But if I had that need to find something greater, which a lot of people do, then yeah, they will start looking for other things, right?
Okay.
I guess what I want to know is who decided, after all these years of us growing up, seeing the commercial of the egg, this is your egg, this is your brain on drugs. Who decided marijuana wasn't a drug? You know what? You see what I'm asking? Like, who decided finally to say, hey, you know what? People are going to do it regardless. Let's make it legal and no longer call it a drug.
Probably someone who saw that they could tax it and make money off of it.
Oh my God, that is deep.
Yeah. Hand over
Tell
fist.
us that we're gonna fix the streets and put the money in the schools, but I'm still dodging potholes.
Exactly.
That is
And
crazy.
every time in school, they're always sending something home to fundraise for the schools.
Right.
Whatever happened to that money, right? That Colorado was supposed to get for the schools. Who is the governor right now?
Right. Because weren't we told it's going to go for parks, it's going to go for schools, it's going to go, like all these different things marijuana was going to do. But at the end of the day, unless these stats that I got are wrong, it grossed $255 million last year. I don't think any of us seen a part of that.
It's greater than that. Because
Right? No. It may very well be, but at the end of the day, like you're not seeing. If there's 900 dispensaries out there, what happened with the cartel before it was legalized? A cartel ran it. So does the cartel now own all these dispensaries?
So my understanding is the cartel does have a hand in it. When you think about it, that's kind of scary.
Right. Yeah. Very.
A lot of these companies. What are your thoughts, Reno?
I don't know. Not too sure I want to incriminate myself.
I would have to say that because I mean the cartel's not just going to let a lucrative business go. I would have to imagine that their hands are in on this stuff.
Well,
dude.
it's proven.
Shift.
I guarantee you can prove it. And people, if you know more than us, 303-477-5600. So, do you guys believe that anybody that's incarcerated right now that got busted in the early 90s for selling marijuana should be released today?
I kind of do, because I think that was very excessive for that type of crime, because now you got rapists, you got child molesters, you got all these other murderers, etc., sitting with someone that had just, more than the legal limit of, marijuana on them. I mean, that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my answer is yes.
Because when a person... sorry about that, and I'll go to you. Because when a person goes to prison, if you're a felon, you're lumped with all the felons, right? I don't think they put you in a separate pod.
Well, felons are pretty much the only ones that go to prison.
No. You can have a misdemeanor and go to prison, can't you?
What I'm
I don't
saying,
think so.
what I'm saying is, if you're a murderer, you're probably going to be with murderers.
Yeah.
If you're a pedophile, I don't know if there's protective custody for pedophiles anymore.
But if you're a drug dealer, you're not going to be with murderers, is what you're saying.
You might be.
I think all of that's under criminal, and yes, you're going to be in the same squad, the same yard with them all.
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know though.
I think you would be. I mean, I don't. I don't think you're gonna, a drug dealer, whether they're in there for marijuana or cocaine, you're gonna be in general population, so.
Well, herein lies the problem, though, is if somebody did go to the clink for getting high, man, or distribution, they've probably learned how to level up in the pen, and so they might not be worthy of being let out. Even though you get locked up for the one easy thing, you might have committed some more egregious acts while in,
because
and get institutionalized.
Because it makes you really wonder, right? If they put everybody in general population, because I agree with Andre here, like, how in the world, if in the 90s, if I sold marijuana, let's say I sold 2 pounds to some dude down the street, why in the world am I now locked up today when it's legal and I'm still in there with murderers and rapists and the whole 9 yards? Like, it doesn't make sense, dude.
Well, think about this too. What about the association of violence? I mean, most of the people that are incarcerated, I believe, is through alcohol.
Alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, the strongest direct link of intoxication increases aggression and impairs judgment. And cannabis, believe it or not, cannabis and opioids have a weak link.
Really?
Direct link, yeah. But cocaine, crack, meth, stimulants, they have a high link of aggression and agitation.
So that brings up the next point. Is marijuana an upper or a downer? You know how like opioids could be a downer? Because the second you get depressed and you start doing some opioids, all of a sudden you're completely depressed. Or alcohol, if you're super depressed, can either make you depressed or bring you up. Is marijuana an upper or a downer? How do you like...
It's a downer.
Depressant.
Well, which is funny because they gave you what, the two sativa and
Indica.
yeah.
Indicouch is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's the one where you just kind of chill. Indica is the one that you can be high and
they
work,
claim it helps.
function.
Yeah, for depression. But then also there's a strong correlation that shows that people that have depression, it increases the depression.
Really?
So there's your downer.
Marijuana.
Goodness. So what if a person is generally happy, upbeat? They take some marijuana just for the stress. Isn't it going to make them more happy? You would think, like...
Again, what people are dealing with when they're having this, and I call them coping mechanisms, is because you're changing your chemistry. This is chemistry. So
Heath's right, because there's shared risk factors. Most of it belongs to the genetics, 40 to 60% have a higher addiction risk, but most of it also comes from life trauma, mental health issues, anxiety, depression, ADHD, impulsivity, etc. So yeah, most of that's not based on, if you were to take like someone that's happy-go-lucky and you give them marijuana, what they're basically saying is the person that's had life trauma, when they take it, it becomes more of a downer to them and has the potential of becoming a gateway drug.
Who is more influential? Is it the 14, 15-year-old, the 21 to 30-year-old, or the 30 to 60-year-old? Who's going to be the more influence to do?
I think that's individual. It has nothing to do with age. It's individual.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think there's monkey see, monkey do when you're a kid and you're.
Oh, that's good, man.
That's just my thought.
This is a lot more. I'd say you're a lot more susceptible to peer pressure as an adolescent, but you're still. It's still individual.
The saddest part that as an adolescent is it's become easier and easier to. I remember back in the day trying to pay some adult to get us alcohol, and then they just go out the back door and just rob us, right?
Yeah.
Now kids can go and just get whatever they need anymore, it seems like, at whatever school district it is.
So, will marijuana help my OCD?
I might help mine because
It's-
I'm all
Maybe,
over the place.
because if you think about... Okay, sorry.
Hey, what was any of your, since we've all done marijuana here, what was any of your shadiest encounters with marijuana? I'll go. One of the times I was like 13, 14, we walked downtown and it was 5 points. 5 points isn't what it is, what it once was. It was bad, man.
Gentrified now.
Walk down there, we had something like 30, 40, 50 bucks. We give it to some guys. There's these kids, man. We were young and they were young, but they all had baseball bats and stuff like that. And they say, "Oh yeah, we know Johnny. We go and go get the weed. Take the money." They took us for the money, man, and that led to a falling away of a bunch of stuff. Like we got my friend's brother got jumped by like this. Yeah, it was bananas, but we didn't get high. But it was a shady experience.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a moment that I wanted to get high. My friend had some hash. I got so high I couldn't lift my eyelids. I had to walk home with my head tilted back so I could see the sidewalk. I couldn't stand
That's
the
a funny.
I can see
So
that.
that was the only time I tried it. I tried hash, and I never tried it again because I got too high.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is a point to where you're so high you don't like it, dude.
What about you, Brock?
Oh no! I'll tell you guys. Like,
I know the one.
No. The worst experience I ever had with getting high, dude. I was at a party with a bunch of guys, man, and like they're passing everything around, and I had no idea it was laced with something. I still don't know what it was, and there was. There was a trash can in front of me, dude. I was like 16, and this fool just, he starts puking in it, right? And I'm sitting there staring at it for whatever reason instead of sitting back, and it, puke's going everywhere. Next thing I know is like, right at the next guy next to me.
It led you to puking?
Oh, it led me to puke. I don't know what was inside this stuff, dude, but when that dude started having at it, it was funny at first. It turned from funny to bad, dude, and I just went right to the left of the guy next to me, dude. I was like, whoa, all over him, dude. Like, so I think, I don't know, that's my worst experience, because I didn't really have, like, yeah, because I tripped one time, dude, and it was bad, dude. Like, it was
Oh, is that the
bad.
one you saw Satan?
Oh, man.
I know he saw Satan in the demons.
Yeah, there's some bad times. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I didn't feel like I had an addictive personality, but I did feel like when I smoked marijuana, like I wanted to do other things. Like it impaired me in a way to where I didn't understand things.
There are some, I know of a few people who like to get high and work out. Like, that makes no sense. It seems diametrically opposed to one another.
That would be, yeah, that would be strange.
The marijuana.
Yeah, get high and work out. Weird, man.
Yeah, but that was my worst marijuana experience, because I don't think it was just the marijuana that did it to me. I think it was what was inside, what they put inside of
So
it.
I don't really have one of those experiences because, you know Freakies. Anybody who's here in Colorado
Freakies.
knows about Freakies. But my dad, I would say, was the original head shop owner.
Really?
And I would see some crazy crackheads and things like that. Yeah, I got a lot of stories, but he was trying to do what he could to make money, and it was legal.
Yep.
So some of the zigzags and such, but
Well, you had to call them water pipes, not bombs.
exactly, yeah.
You used to have to
they
call
were
them water
cigarette
pipes?
holders. But with that said, watching the type of people come in, man, it taught me a lot. And smelling what they smelled like. I mean, I could smell someone that's been doing marijuana.
Wow.
They have a different smell and crack. It was
Patchouli
weird
oil.
times. Yeah, the '90s. You gotta love them. '80s and '90s.
Thanks, people, for listening, and we'll see y'all next week. So was our lines off the whole time until Charlie turned them back on?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the red circle.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
hey,
Lines.
Well,